Welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa. I'm a surface pattern designer and watercolor artist. When I first started painting with watercolors, I just wanted to paint, To be honest, I really didn't care about technique or color theory or composition. I just didn't want to learn all that. I just wanted to paint. So that's what I did. I just painted. I just had a good time with it. And I would encourage you, if that's the way you feel, just enjoy it. You're still learning. But then one day, I painted something that surprised myself. It was better than I expected. And that got me all energized and motivated to learn about how can I do that again. That's when I took an interest to all the technical aspects of watercolor painting. Today, I'm going to teach you how to paint a quick and easy but fairly complex appearing leaf. Just so that when you're amazed at how well you do with it, maybe that will give you a little positive, energetic, I want to go learn more kind of experience. Now you can use any color that you want, but I'm going to use my 4 favorites. I am using permanent sap green. That's always my base. I really like that. Then we have olive green and greenish umber and green gold. These are the ones that I use the most often. They look really good together. Now, you can use any color you want, like I said. You can use browns or whatever you want. But for today, try to use just natural colors if you would, because I really want you to get that amazing, I did it, this looks pretty real kind of feeling. So first we're going to mix up our paints. I'll take some of the sap green and I like to put the green gold in with it. So I put that in one well. The green gold is just a beautiful color, and it kind of tones down a little bit of the blue in the sap green. Now I will use both, just that color alone as well, but I like to use it mixed too. So I'll just get a nice thick consistency here. You just have to get a feel for how thick you want it. I kind of like it kind of a medium thickness for this project. You don't want it too watery because we are going to use a lot of water in our brush. So I am leaving it a little bit thick right here. And then I'm going to mix up the greenish umber, which is a very, very deep color. Really plays well with the sap green. But then I want to add a little bit of that olive green to it. And it just gives it a little bit more of a gold feeling. And all 4 of these colors, I will use them just straight color as well as the mix that I'm mixing up here. So really I've got 4, 5, 6 colors that I'll be using in this leaf, which is what gives it so much depth and texture. Now I just want to point out the green gold and the olive green look very similar, but when you open them up and look at the tube, you can see that they are just slightly different. They're interchangeable for the most part, but I really like the subtle differences between the two, so I tend to use both of them. Now let's take a look just real quick where I've practiced a lot of these different leaves in my sketchbook and see how they're all different. That's what makes them look more realistic, is there's no defined one shape. They're all very different, which is what makes this so much easier. I'm going to use a black velvet silver brush number 10, but you can use literally almost any brush you want with this project. I would just suggest use a large enough brush to match the size of the leaf that you want. So I've put water into my brush here, and you know, I don't like using just straight water because I can't see it. So I like to put a little water and then a little touch of pigment on my brush so that then I can see what I'm doing. But the whole thing here is I just want a little base layer, just a little base layer of water, a thin layer is what I'm trying to say. So we want the whole leaf to be completely covered, no puddles or anything like that. Just spread it out in any shape you want. You can just twirl your brush around, smash it around, do whatever you want. Let it be organic. That's the whole purpose here, just getting an organic shape. And then I'm just going to fine tune some of my edges and start dropping in different spots of these colors. And I'll let the work happen on its own. I'm not going to force it too much. Just a little bit of a hint of a little vine here. So we're going to take in some of this gold. I think that's the green gold I'm just dropping in. And it's really nice to put some of the deeper tones along the edges that will just define your edges. And my eyesight is pretty bad, always has been. I have to get really close to my paper to keep my edges clean. So I can't do that while I'm filming. So my edges may not be perfect while we're filming. But, you know, this is just straight sap that I'm mixing up here. And I will spread it out, put different colors in different spots because that's what nature does. It's not all homogeneous. Colors will just kind of be spotty, and you could think about shadows too if you wanted to add a little shadowing. So I would add dark spots, especially some of this greenish umber, in areas where I want shadows to be. You know, for the most part today, I'm not going to concentrate too much on shadowing. I'm just going to drop in various colors without allowing it to pool too much. A little bit, enough to keep the paper moist, because that's the whole trick here, is that this whole leaf has to stay wet the whole time we're working with it. If it starts drying out, then, you know, I try to catch that really early and spread some more of the pigment and water over the top of that little dry spot, because I do want to keep it really wet, because that's what makes these colors merge together and really give that painterly look. It's important to drop the colors in. Don't brush them in, because then you mess up that painterly effect. So we just drop in the colors, just dab it around until you get it where you want it. Now I'm just going to add just a little bit more. You know, watercolors always fade quite a bit, so I want to keep some of the deeper tones in this. But it's just about where I think I want it. Maybe just a little bit more on this stem, because that's drying out fairly light. So, you know, this really has only taken a few minutes, hasn't it? It's very, very fast. But I think I'm pretty much happy with this. I have a little bit of pooling here on the edges. So I think I'll clean that up just a little bit. And when we clean the puddles up, we just want to take a dry brush and barely touch that little extra moisture, wipe it off on a towel, touch it again, and wipe it off on a towel. Remember not to touch it 3 or 4 times, because then you're not really removing the water, you're just spreading it around. And then you can use any tool that you like. to make the veins. I like using the ends of these little paint tubes, and I want to draw the center vein, which, you know, it's not going to be straight. You want it wavy because the leaf is bending and folding, and then just draw a few little veins off to the side. They don't all have to go all the way to the edge. You can have some that are short and some that go off of others, and just think about how a real leaf looks and mimic that. You want a light pressure here, especially if you're using the end of the tube like me, because it's kind of sharp and it can scratch your paper, which it's okay if it does, but you really don't want to scratch all the way through the paint, because then you're going to have white paper, you know, jagged, sticking out, and that's not really what you want. But that's pretty much it. See how fast this really was? I'm pretty happy with this. This is it dry, and as you can see, the colors did fade just a little bit. I hope you had fun with this, and I hope your results are just wonderful and you're amazed at how well you did. Please let me know. I would love to know how well you did and how happy you are with the results. I think I'm going to put mine in my sketchbook because I like to keep all these little pieces in my sketchbook together so I can refer back to them from time to time. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and let me know. And please subscribe so that you can be notified when I have new videos out. Thank you so much for your support. Hope to see you again soon.